Hey, what's going on, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. So Monday is over with, right? Getting ready to step on into Tuesday, but it was Matco Monday. I had a couple of pick-me-ups, so you throw a card down here, show you guys. So I did pick up the Power Probe soldering iron. We'll go into that in a separate video of why. And then I also picked up this 3 mini magnetic parts trays, okay? With that being said, we're also going to talk about ways that you can stay organized as a mechanic or technician. Now, outside of these little handy-dandy collapsible magnetic trays that you can just pretty much put on any kind of surface and then have the ability to put fasteners in here, we're also going to be talking about some of my favorite organizers that I utilize currently at work when it comes to sockets and specialty sockets. Now, not every single one of these organizers that I purchase. You'll see here from the little video clip, and I'll try to throw a card down here, that some of these organizers that I have actually came with the specialty sockets or sockets themselves on a socket rail. For those, because it took up less space and I was using my service car, I could kind of put them in place and it seems to work out well for me. You'll also see I got this big magnetic tray that I got from Snap-on with the twist and lock system. It's okay, but you have to be very selective of the sockets that you put on it, because not every single one of your sockets are going to fit on it. So for that, you'll see a mixture of different sockets. They're not all in order. They're just the most common sizes that I run into and utilize. Then you'll see on the magnetic area that I have extensions and some other specialty sockets kind of tossed on there that I can just grab and go. Now, I've also got this magnetic kind of tray. It's a step down to step up for shallow and deep Snap-on sockets. I bought this from Snap-on and it seems to organize pretty well. Then we'll jump over to the Gen 2 toolbox that I have for overflow, and I've got some other sockets in there in case I have premature wearing or in case I need a different style of socket. Some of them chrome, some of them impact, some of them spark plug sockets and other specialty sockets, but I have them located in the top drawer. Now you'll see that I got the Husky rail where it's magnetic. You'll see that I have the rail that it came with for the Cornwall sockets, and you'll also see that I got some cobalt. Now I got cobalts here at the house, and these are quite similar to the ones that I got from Snap-on, except for the Snap-on one was like a 2-in-1 kind of system, so kind of like that, right? But Cobalt does sell these individually, and I think they're about 20 bucks a piece for deep and shallow sockets. These are some of my most favorite socket organizers because they're so mobile. If you know you're going to be using primarily shallow, you can just grab the shallow and go, especially if you don't know what socket you need. So if you're an oil change guy and you're not sure if you need a 13, a 15, a 16, a 17, a 19, you can just grab the short tray, take it over to the rack with you, set it on top of the alignment or on top of the 2-post, pull out the ones that you need, check it out, crack it loose, and be done with it. Now, that being said, some people actually still use the blow molded cases that they came in, and I've actually utilized a Snap-on one that it gave me, and it had a magnetic rail, but it's made out of cheap plastic, kind of flimsy. But if you already have a place set in stone for it, it seems to work out well too, and it saves you the money of having to buy a separate organizer. Some guys will actually leave them in their blow molded cases, kind of like this Nico set that I have kind of tucked underneath here. But this thing is absolutely huge and would take up so much space, right? So kind of pointless to put something like that in your toolbox because, let's face it, it's going to take up a lot of real estate. And you don't need that as a mechanic. So it's great if you have it on the fly and you want to toss it in the back of your trunk, but overall it's just not very functional or practical in a toolbox. I know some guys, they'll toss it in there, and I've even done this at home because I have no other need for extra real estate, and I can just toss it in, open it up, and then grab out what it is that I need. But if you're a mechanic in the real world, this system will not work out well for you, and eventually that case is just going to go home and sit in the garage until you decide to swap out sockets. So I don't recommend using these huge blow molded cases for your toolbox because they are going to take up space. Now, there are other specialty sockets that I have that I put in a different drawer that I actually did leave in the blow molded cases because, well, I don't always run into situations where I need tamper torques or the special canister oil filter sockets or spline drive or triple square. Sometimes I need them, but it's very rare, and when it is, I can just grab that little case out and then go to use it. You're going to figure out your own system. Let's go into Fastener Organization. So you can utilize something like this where it's a collapsible magnetic tray with this silicone-based rubberized system that they have here. And I haven't tried this out too much, but I was able to bust one of these out when I was doing some interior work earlier today, and it did work out well. You'll see here in a couple of picture clips that I actually have some magnetic trays not only on my service cart, but I also got them on top of my Gen 2, and I also have them to the side and attached to my Gen 2, and then I have them on various vehicle jobs that I have. Now right now I'm occupying 4, maybe 5 bays, okay? I got a lot of big jobs going on. So I'm kind of running out of trays, which is why I picked up these ones. Some other guys, when you run out of trays and you only have a few, you might end up doing something like this. You'll see here down in the corner that you can use the air cleaner box, especially if you know where those fasteners go. You can put those fasteners in the air cleaner box and it kind of holds them in place. Other guys will put them on top of the battery. Now I don't recommend putting fasteners on the battery or tools on the battery, because if you cross jump the positive and negative, you're going to start welding, and that was completely unintentional. Or was it? Because you made the decision to put them there. Some guys will put them on top of the cowl. I've put fasteners on top of the cowl, and sometimes that kind of holds it in place, especially if you're doing a small job that's not going to take you too long to finish. Some guys will do what's called a party line. They'll lay things out. Some guys will stack everything on top of their box. Some guys, like myself, I've used totes. So there's these big totes that we get from O'Reilly's, and I'll throw components in there. If I'm working underneath the car, I'll utilize the legs of the lift, or I'll utilize more magnetic trays, or I might even put them back into the transmission or into the bell housing if I just needed to undo a ground strap, so that way I know something goes there. Kind of gives me that little reminder, right? So these are just little things that'll help you out when it comes to not only fastener organization, but socket organization. We'll get into wrench organization and other things like that. I'm not a very organized person. From the pictures, you'll see that I'm kind of organized, but it's also organized chaos, okay? I don't try to over-exaggerate what it is that I'm doing, because I'm in and out of my box so often. Somebody asked me if I prefer the Matco cart that I have to the one that I used to have. I will tell you this, I do prefer the Matco cart that I have over the other one, but I also miss the work surface. I no longer have the work surface of the sliding drawers anymore, and that can actually slow you down too. Also, this service cart's a bit taller than the other one. It's got more drawers. So in some situations it helps out, because I could put tools in there that I couldn't otherwise put in there before, but now it's taller, so I got to go up higher with the lift, and I can't exactly just tuck it underneath the lift and use it the way that it is. So sometimes it's nice to have a short service cart, especially for my shorter guys. Other times it's nice to have a tall service cart with the flip lid, because I know you guys can actually adapt and overcome that too. This one has a stainless steel top, so I wouldn't be exactly in a hurry to go ahead and start drilling through it. But if you have something like a Harbor Freight cart that you're using, I've seen guys drill through it, attach magnetic rails, put magnetic trays up there. You guys get pretty intricate with this stuff, which is actually kind of cool. And I can appreciate that, because it helps you stay organized, doesn't take up extra real estate, and it gives you more storage options. So make sure you're actually paying attention to the cart that you're going to get, because you just never know what you're going to run into, and eventually you're going to find the cart that works best for you. That's all I got for this video, guys. I hope you're enjoying your Monday, and hopefully we'll see Gear Wrench tomorrow, and hopefully get the January ProTech catalog review going. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. We'll see you guys next time. Deuces.